Good evening, everyone. It's Julie at the Paper Bag Lady 1, and I am coming to you today with a video of a couple of mini albums that I made this past week. It felt really good to get back in the studio. I'd been out for a long time before Christmas. Things were crazy, and then right after Christmas, I had to do a couple cards for someone, and if you know me, you know that I really don't like cards very much, or don't like making them. Excuse me. And then my daughter got the flu last week and she was home and I couldn't get to the studio. So finally this week I got to the studio, yay! And I made 3 albums this week. And so I thought that I would show them to you. And on each of them I tried to, I don't want to say do something different, although I guess a little bit different. The basic layout of the albums are the same as my standard albums, but I kind of pushed myself to either use things or go in a direction that I don't usually go. So we'll see how successful I was. So this first one is a 6x6 paper bag album, and this is done with the Lost and Found Union Square paper. And in this album, the challenge was for me to use metal, at least on every page, more metal than I generally do. And so, yeah, I like the way that it turned out. So let's just sort of dig right in. Here's the cover. All the flowers in here that are this sort of brown color are all coffee dyed. They're all either Primas or Wild Orchid Crafts or I Am Roses. I have all of those in white flowers. These black ones are actually like a recollection, not recollections, the little Michaels, the dollar bin or the $1.50 bin, and I found tons and tons of packs of them for $1. So I got them. I just took the center out and put my own center in. And then here we just have some different buttons, both vintage and more modern kind of blingy buttons. There's an old button. There's my metal on the front. In addition to the button is the fleur-de-lis. And then this is I think it's an Inka-Dinka-Doo stamp. And then this is a Fiskars stamp. And then this is just bling. Oh, it's from AC Moore, which is a craft store we have here on the East Coast. I cannot remember what the name or the brand name is, but anyway, there you have it. So let's go on inside. Here's the first page. Here's another from the same stamp set. More flowers. This is a little, I don't remember where those came from, but I have several of them. The little word things, and then just some more centers, and then there's shipping tags in each little pocket, and they all have something stamped in it from a Parisian set, which was, oh, maybe a Stampendous set. This is some vintage tatting that I used here, and then here we have some corners, and I'll be darned if I can remember where they're from. I'm so sorry. If anybody really wants to know, ask me. I know I got them at Tuesday morning, like in a pack, like a big pack of several packs put together. But anyway, so moving on, here we have some more. And then the bling is, I'm not sure what the bling is. All the bling that's throughout this was cut from the same pack, and it was one that Amanda sent me from, I think it's Mandy. Did I get that right? The 2 I's? Anyway, we did a supply swap a while back, and she sent me that bling, and it's wonderful. Oh, and here's my metal on this page, is this little swirly pendenty thing. I can't remember if Mo sent me that or if I just already happened to have that. The light in here, I just can't get it to work out right, so we'll adjust our light. Ooh, that's bad. Anyway, and then over here we have a little fleur-de-lis, which Mo also sent me, I believe. And then more flowers with old buttons, and then this is a little paper clip, and you probably can't see it because my camera doesn't want to focus, but it's got a little dangly with the word on it, and that one says love. I have a whole set of those, 2 sets actually. And over here we have more buttons and some stamps. Over here we have an old key. I have several of those, and I can't remember if Cody sent those to me or if I just had those from somewhere. And then there's another button, more of these corners. There's corners on every page. Sometimes there's 1, sometimes there's 2. And then over here we have another one of these little word sticker things, more buttons, and then this is a little pendant-y charm thing that Paula sent me. Thank you, Paula. Here's another one of these dangle things, and this one says Bliss, although you probably can't read it. Here is, that's quite dimensional, that metal brooch thing, and again, I can't remember if someone sent that to me. I have the hardest time keeping track of where I get things. It's so pathetic. This is some vintage lace. More corners, more of the same, etc., etc., etc. More buttons, corners, and then here's a little, like a little cameo metal thing, which Mo, again, I'm fairly certain that was Mo that sent me, and some buttons. And so there we have it. There was my first mini, and I know it doesn't have tons of metal, and it's not really much different than anything I normally do, but I used more than I normally would. So that was my first thing. Excuse me. My second album is done with, this is Glitz French Kiss, and this paper Mo actually sent me a long time ago, and I loved it. I loved the colors, and I finally got around to using it. So on this one, I used a lot of burlap and muslin, and this one, it's actually sewn together, but some of the stitching looked like it was coming apart, so I actually wanted to tie with the muslin anyway, so I just poked holes straight through the album and tied it with that. And then again, all the coffee dyed flowers and the buttons, and then these little doodads are from I Am Roses, and then that's a Tim Holtz Adage ticket, and then this little frame thing I believe is also Tim Holtz, and Mo sent me that. I love it. I need to go get me some more of those. Anyway, so in here we have some more corner things, and these little filigrees are from the same place that the silver ones in the other album came from, but again, I can't quite remember. And so here we have muslin on every page. It's coffee dyed, and then I went and I stamped it, tied it with a little bit of twine from the burlap, and then here in all the pockets, and I'm not going to take them all out, but are these beautiful little like journaling tag spots. And I'm drawing a complete blank as to the seller on Etsy that I got them from. I think it's Vectoria Designs. I want to say, because it was like Victoria, but it wasn't Victoria. I think it's Vectoria, or something like that. I will double check that, and I will try to remember to put that down below in the description box. So just carrying on, there's one of those at least on every page, and more burlap and muslin, and oh, and these stamps are Fisker's stamps. And over here we made a little pocket with the burlap on this page, and then there's two of these little tickets that come out, tied a little bit of muslin through the burlap. And over here, some more muslin tied to the burlap. And again, more of the same, more of the same. I'm so consistent, if nothing else. You can always count on the whole thing's going to coordinate. Here's two more little tags tucked in there. Here I took a little postcard stamp, and I can't remember where I got that from. It's an unmounted stamp that I bought off of eBay, I believe, but I don't remember what the company was. Some more stamping, little buttons. And here's a little muslin pocket. And Paula, if you're watching, this is what I wanted the script stamp for. I wanted to do script on this, but I didn't have one at the time, and I was too impatient to wait, so I just used this background stamp. But anyway, here's some more little things, and that is the end. Again, there's, for me, a fair bit of metal in this. I love copper, this antique copper. That is probably my favorite color in the metal department to work with. I just think that's so pretty. So anyway, so there is album number 2. And here is album number 3, which is what I finished today, and I was actually staring at this for a couple days. So this one is shiny, as you can see. I did a lot of embossing of chipboard in this album, and I don't usually use a lot of chipboard or a lot of embossing. So 2 counts, yay for me. And actually, then I didn't use a single flower in it, just a lot of burlap and this cardboard that I ripped apart so that you got the corrugated look. So, first of all, I have these are the Tim Holtz hinge die, and I believe these my friend Taya sent me. So it's an antique gold embossing powder. I don't remember which kind, but anyway. And then here also the Tim Holtz die and keyhole die, And then this is also a Tim Holtz key. It's actually on grunge board. It was in a set that I got. So I embossed it all gold. And then we have the burlap, and then wrapped some twine around the corrugated cardboard. And then what I did was tied this key on to this little clip right here, which Mo sent me. Thank you, Mo. And then I took some of the little strings from when I pulled the burlap to fringe it, and I braided them all together and adhered it to the back with a brad, and then tied it through the clip there to make the closure. Believe me, I had to think really hard about that. I wasn't sure it was going to work, and I was afraid I was going to mess it up, but I think it turned out okay. And as you can see, the keyhole, the key thing is a little bit grungy looking. It's not the smoothest look, and here it's kind of gotten a little chewed up from the clip, but I actually like that because I like it looking old. Oh, and then I randomly sort of stamped some things in the background. So my idea with this was to kind of have a more masculine look. I know there's some flowers on the paper, but I didn't want to use any flowers in it. It's hard. I find it very hard to embellish masculine albums. Oh, and missing in this, there's going to be some of my coffee dyed shipping tags tucked behind the photo mats, but I only have a few. I have to dye some more before I put them in. So, but anyway, that'll be there. So here we also have some more of these grunge board hinges with just some little tiny brads, and then of course it's not attached down at the end, just the brad is in there. And then the corrugated board and the burlap, and then if you can see in that button there's a little bit of gold. It's not thread, but it's like very, very thin wire, and I attached it to the cardboard with that and put that through. And then over here we have the same thing. In this button I actually kind of wove the gold through a little bit, if you can see that. And then here's another Tim Holtz hinge, and I just adhered that one down. It is not adhered in the middle, so it could sort of slide under there if you needed it to. And then again on this page, these will also have tags in those pockets there. But here we have some excuse me, some gears, and these are Tim Holtz gears, and I cut them. They're the smaller ones, and over here on this side are the larger ones. And actually my friend Taya cut these for me and sent them to me. I only have the small dies. But again, more, you can see more of the same throughout. And this, when I wrapped the twine, I wrapped it around the larger gear, and then I also tied some burlap twine on that. Over here on this page we have some clock hands, and these I actually got from Gina's Designs. She cuts chipboard in all kinds of wonderful, wonderful shapes, and I'm loving these clock hands. So those came from Gina's Designs. And then again, more buttons, and more of the twine, the jute or whatever it's called. And then this button is attached with the gold, if you can see that also. And then here's some more watch. Oh, you know what? These might not be Gina watch hands. These might be, they're not. I lied, Gina. I'm sorry. These are actually from the Tim Holtz weathered clock. I do have a whole set of clock hands from Gina, but there weren't two that matched in the same size. They had matching ones in varying sizes, and so I opted not to use those. So whoops, whoopsie whoopsie, big mistake there. Anyway, moving on to the next page. This is, I believe, also a Tim Holtz die, the key and the lock, and those, my friend Taya, I believe, sent those to me as well. And then we tied the key on with the twine and put the little burlappy things on there. And then on the last page, these definitely are Gina's Designs, these gears. I am loving these gears, and I think I'm going to have to get me some more when I use them all. I really, really like them. And look at all the little teeth all over that gear. So there's the gears. And then I just attached it with a brad in the center. And over here. And there we go. And so that is my third album that I just finished today. And I think I like it. Sometimes I'm not really sure when I finish it, but I'm pretty sure that I do. So those are my 3 albums that I have been working on this week, and I will look forward to doing something else new next week, possibly without such a vintage or grungy look. Maybe we need to do something bright and cheery. I don't know. But anyway, I'd love to hear what you think. Like I said, they're not really that different in the basic layout than what I usually do, but I tried to sort of Well, it's not really outside the box, but I guess it's outside my little box. So I'd love to hear what you think. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening.